Hi, welcome to Mindful Conversations. My name is Greg Dwyer. My guest today is a good friend of mine. His name is David Lawrence. We belong to a secret society, which we won't talk about, but we're also magicians in the sense that he does magic and I love magic. David, thanks for being on the broadcast.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You came all the way from Long Island.
Long Island.
So that's a great commitment.
Yeah, well, I enjoy doing things like this, enjoy talking about magic and talking about life and all that.
Well, let's talk. So how did you get involved? I mean, for me, it was seeing a coin trick. What was your magic moment?
I have a distinct memory for some reason. When I was 8 years old, in school, grade school, third grade, I guess, they were having a talent show of some kind, and I decided to do a magic trick. And I remember what trick it was. It was a vanishing candle trick that you probably couldn't do today because they don't allow fire. And as an 8-year-old, I was lighting a match, and but I had a long candle, and I lit it, and I showed that it was real. I put it in a bag, crushed the bag, and it was vanished. So that was my first. But then when I really got into it, when I was 15.
Okay.
And as most magicians, most kids do, I shouldn't say most, I never got a magic kit. That's sort of the classic thing.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, is you get a magic kit. I never got a magic kit, but I did have a speech impediment. I really could not be understood.
Okay.
Even beyond 5 years old. There was something wrong with my tongue.
Okay.
Or it never developed, and I had a hard time speaking, and thus I had a hard time connecting with people.
Gotcha.
And so about 15-ish, I said to myself, I said, I want something. And so I went to the school library, and I found a couple of books on magic. I think it was by Milburn Christopher.
Sure.
Something like the Encyclopedia of Card Tricks.
Right.
And I would go home after school every day and sit in front of the TV and practice my card tricks. And that's really sort of how I started. And then I started doing them, and then a friend at school said, hey, my cousin or someone is having a birthday party. Can you do a magic show?
Right.
And that was a total disaster.
What did something go wrong, or what happened?
Yeah, everything went wrong. and because I think I went to the magic shop that week and bought a couple of tricks and did them without really knowing what I was doing.
So you didn't hire a director?
I didn't hire a director. Not at 15, not at 15 or 16.
Oh, that's funny.
But so and then I sort of did it through college.
Okay.
During college, I would do shows on the weekends, and I wish I had known more about marketing back then, because I really didn't know what I was doing then. And then I started doing it more and more. And then I guess in 2008, I was laid off from my real job.
Okay.
And I'd been doing pretty well, just doing things on the weekends.
Right.
I was making quite a bit of money in magic, and I said, well, why don't I give it a go and try and do magic full time, because I was having a hard time getting another job in my field.
A real job.
A real job. And now that's what I do.
That's neat.
And it's fun, but it is a job.
Right.
It is a job that I have to sell myself, and then going out and doing the gigs is it's hard work. My wife says she couldn't do what I do in terms of going out and working the shows and doing it. So that's my life.
So today, what's your clientele? Is it families? Is it corporations?
It is everyone.
It's everyone.
I really am not a specialist.
Okay.
Which, from a business point of view, it's hard to do in magic.
Right. Why do you say that?
Because there's unless you get to a certain level, which I'm not at yet. It's hard to get enough business, to really make the kind of money that I need to make.
Gotcha.
So I will do family shows, birthday parties, children's birthday parties, I do a lot of Sweet 16s.
Oh,
I do
nice.
hypnosis.
Right.
And I do high school proms and
Right.
high school shows. I'm doing a high school hypnosis show on Wednesday. I do senior 55 plus communities.
Oh, nice.
So and I do corporate shows.
Okay.
I do strolling, magic and mind reading, and after dinner shows. So I really I do it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so yeah.
What do you like about your job the most? Is it the marketing? Is it the performing? Is it?
Well, the performing. I mean, when it push comes to shove, I think most of us like the adulation,
I
like
see.
the applause,
Right.
like the
Right.
wow.
Right.
In my mind reading shows, I'll clean this up. I like to say if I don't get one OF during
Oh.
the show from one of my participants, then it's not a good show. You want to get one like, oh my God, how did you know that?
Right. Right.
Type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that and there's nothing more rewarding, and there's nothing more rewarding than working with children
Okay.
and really getting them excited and involved. I tell one story that I've done. And this has happened a couple of times, but one specific time I did a show that was for a child on the spectrum.
Okay. Sure.
And I came out and I said, hi, I'm David Fun, which is my family stage name. I'm David Fun. And the birthday child gets up and he runs away because he's like terrified.
Wow.
And the parents bring, sort of drag him back, bring him back, sit him down in the father's lap. And one of the first things I do and my show is really designed to bring the birthday child along.
Sure.
So the first thing I do with the birthday child always uses mom and dad because I feel that that's a safe thing. So I do this trick with the kid sitting in the father's lap, not coming up.
Right.
And I do the thing, and then later on, the child helps me produce a live rabbit.
Oh, wow.
And the rabbit ends up basically in the child's hands. And again, the kid is still sitting in the father's lap. And I produce the rabbit, and the child is very excited. And the last thing I do is with the child sort of up there, and I say, whatever his name was, Bobby, do you want to come up and do a trick? And the child got up and actually stood with me all alone.
Wow.
And the parents cried. The parents started crying because
Wow.
it was like such a revelation that I had been able to get their child.
You
so
built
involved.
trust.
I built trust
Yeah.
in the child.
That's wonderful.
And
Yeah,
so
safety and trust.
Yes. So
And that kind of magic for children is different than doing magic for, I don't know, maybe a corporation. It's a different way,
yeah,
right?
I mean, it's a different. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, and one of the main things as a quote unquote professional magician is you realize is that it's not me.
Right.
A lot of magicians who like to do magic
Right.
like it because they're interested in the trick, in the secret,
The mechanism.
the mechanism
Yes.
of it.
You got to get beyond that.
Right, as a professional, I'm an entertainer. I don't label myself as much a magician as being an entertainer, and especially with some of my children's shows, I'm not doing magic. I
Right.
mean, I'm not doing, and I tell the parents, or I tell the preschool. I work in a lot of preschools, kinder cares, and tutor times. I say you're not going to be seeing David Copperfield magic, but I'm
Right.
I'm interacting with the kids. I'm
Right.
playing with the kids. I'm
Right.
keeping them involved.
Right.
And again, most teachers are amazed that I work sometimes for 2.5, 3-year-olds, and they're amazed that I can hold their attention and It's difficult at the beginning of the show. They're all a little shy. They don't really, they've never seen anything like
Sure,
me.
sure.
And usually by the end of the show, they're really into it and
That's
excited, and they've come along for the ride.
Neat. Did you bring anything that you could show me?
Yes.
Okay,
just
so what do you
happens.
got? I'd love to see something.
Well, you know what? Do you know playing cards? Obviously.
Sure,
Have you
52.
ever considered a deck of cards as like a calendar?
Yes.
Yeah, you know why? There are 52 playing cards, right?
Right.
52 weeks in the year.
Yes.
4 suits, 4 seasons,
Yes.
13 cards, and all that. I did a little experiment. I took 7 decks of cards and I shuffled them into a big pile, and I took a day timer and I started dealing cards off. Every card I dealt, I wrote down on a different day
Okay.
in my calendar.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 365 days. Every day has a different card.
That's amazing.
Right. Well, it took a while to write them all down. Name a day of the year that means something to you, a birthday, anniversary, something like that. But make it something personal. Don't make it like Groundhog
You want me to
Day.
say it out loud?
Say it out loud, just the month and day.
Okay. So today is February 24th,
Sure.
and it's my sister's birthday. So can I pick that day?
Sure.
Okay, February 24th.
Okay. All right. February 24th. Now, I want you to see that every day has a different card.
Yes,
right?
it does. Yes.
Every day is a different card. Okay.
Yep.
Open it up to February 4th. Now, while you're
24?
the 24th, you said,
Yeah,
right?
February 24th.
Right.
Yeah.
I want you to see. I have a card I put in my jacket before we started.
All right, so let me make sure I got this right. All right, so here I am, February
24th.
Oh, you know what? I'm in 2019.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, that's
that-
an old calendar.
It's an old calendar.
Don't.
so
It's the day and the month and day.
you want me to
No,
go?
just go to February 24th.
Oh, you do?
Of
Okay.
2019.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So the card was. All right.
What
So
is
it looks like it's a 5 with an S next to it. So I'm thinking 5 of spades.
5 of spades.
Yes.
A little game, just a little quick game. Let's say your sister couldn't wait to be born, and she was born on the 23rd. What card would have been on the 23rd?
23rd, the day
Yeah,
before,
the day
the
before.
5 of clubs.
5 of clubs.
Right.
Let's say she was in no hurry.
Okay.
She was warm. She got fed.
Yeah.
Let's say she wasn't born until the 25th.
All right, then that would be the 9 of clubs.
9 of clubs. So she was born on the 24th, and that's the 5 of spades, right?
Let me look. Yeah, 5 of spades.
All right, 52 playing cards, 365 days, right?
Right.
Is it coincidence or something more?
That
the
you have
5
that
of
card?
spades.
And yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So
Did you think of that, or how did you come up with that?
Well, you know, I've learned from various people,
Okay.
books and conferences I go to. Where
Right.
we,
I like that.
We tell each other secrets and things like that. So,
So how did you do it?
How do I do it? That I cannot tell you.
Oh, okay. So
That
you,
I can-
did you have to swear like an oath? Do you belong to like the Society of
Well,
American
you know,
Magicians? Or
you
is
know-
it ethics? What is it?
Well, you know, it's not ethics. You know what? A lot of it is that I teach magic.
You do?
Yeah, I do workshops for
Okay.
camps and schools and things like that. And at the very beginning of the session, I say one of the things about magic, it's all about secrets. But once you know the secret, a lot of time you say, "Oh, that's so easy," but you didn't know it before I told you the secret.
Right.
So you know, and a lot of things are like that. It's sort of like, oh, that's
Sure.
it's easy once you know it, but and again, it's the journey.
Right.
It's the journey. It's not just the effect or routine.
So talk about the philosophy behind it. Have you ever thought about some of these things and thought, why does that fool somebody, or why does that entertain? Have you ever thought about that?
As far as entertaining, it's as far as fooling, people. There's a theory or a suggestion that actually the more intelligent you are, the easier it is for you to be fooled,
I see.
because your mind is making assumptions.
Right.
I used to say, and I'm not giving away too much here, there's a very famous trick that Harry Blackstone Jr. used to do with a bird cage. And he'd have this bird cage, and he'd go like that, and the bird cage would vanish. And he'd have like audience members, putting their hands on the cage. And young kids would say, "Oh, it went up it went up his arm. It went up his arm," and that's ridiculous, right? It's a solid bird cage like that. How could that fit up his arm? It went up his arm.
Oh, you actually said that.
I mean, but but the thing is, the kids really didn't know how it worked.
Right.
But in their minds, that's the logical conclusion.
Right.
Adults don't think that way. They think logically. Oh well, it's this, and so and actually, the show with Penn and Teller.
Yes, Fool Us. Yes,
Fool Us. I saw Penn lecture, or he gave a talk, and he said that they're pretty easy to fool.
They are.
Yeah.
Because they have assumptions?
They have assumptions, and if someone does something just a little bit differently than they think, they're fooled.
Right.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah. It just so, and now as far as the entertainment, it has to be a show. It has to be entertaining. During my show, I tell jokes, I tell stories, things like that. I have to set up premises, why something is working, and or at least where you're going with it, type of thing.
So you're a storyteller, you're an entertainer.
Exactly.
So the big question I have on my mind is a lot of people that love magic are amateurs, but you cross the line from being an amateur to a professional.
Right.
What's the difference?
Well, there's an old saying that amateurs perform for the same audience.
Okay.
So they always have to have new things.
Okay.
A professional is always performing for different audiences. So I do essentially the same show every time, but because I do it so often, I'm really good at it.
Right.
I can literally do it in my sleep. Last summer, I woke up with something had gone wrong in my ear, and so I had vertigo.
Okay.
And I was not feeling well at all, but I had a show, and I had to go and do it. And that was the first show in a long time that I can literally say I sort of walked through.
I see.
But because it was muscle memory at that point,
yeah.
I could get through it and sort of do it, but it wasn't a very good show. Was not a good show. And a lot of it is acting. A lot of it is acting. At any number of points in my show, I am reacting to something that my participant has done. That a lot of times I've set up the participant, not set up, but I've had the participant do something that I know that he or she's going to do.
I see. You're one step ahead.
I'm one step ahead, but I act as if this is the first time that they're doing this, that anyone has ever done this. And that's the funny part, is my reaction to it. And I'll sometimes do 2 and 3 shows in a day, and my wife will come along with me, and she says it's amazing. The third show is exactly like the first show in terms of I'm looking at the person and I'm like, why did you do that type of thing, with the same intensity. And that's really the acting part of it. You really, when you're doing a show on stage or, wherever, you're acting.
So how much of your routine is actually scripted, meaning you've actually written this down years ago? Do you do that?
I'd say really about 99.
Okay.
I shouldn't say 90 to 95% of my show is scripted. Even though watching it, you would say, "Wow, he improvised that. He improvised this."
Right.
Because I'm saying lines and things.
Sure.
Again, it's the type of thing that I know that this person is going to do this.
Right.
Because everybody else does it, and so I have a line for it, or I just have prepared.
Sure.
Lines. I always I talk about Robin Williams and how he was this great improviser. But if you really watched different shows of his, yes, he could pull things out of he was always changing, but he had certain bits, certain lines that he could pull out of the back of his mind.
Right.
So it wasn't like he was just creating it.
Right.
He had all this whole repertoire, this file system in his mind of bits that he could go to.
Absolutely. If you ever go to Vegas and you
Right.
see Matt King in the morning and then go see him in the afternoon, it's the same thing. And you
Right.
thought, oh, I thought that was off the cuff. No,
Yep,
you know,
yep,
and
yeah.
he does it for years, like
Right.
since the 80s, you know, so that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you got another thing you can show us?
Yeah, I'll do a. Let's hold on. Can you see? Oh, I think we might be able to see the tabletop here. Let
Yeah,
me
we
just
can see. We go to a wide shot.
We go to a wide shot. All right, hold on. Let's just see here. I should have set this up beforehand, but I didn't. All right, now, Greg, you know, of course, that the 4 aces are the lightest cards in the deck, right?
Light?
Lightest,
How come they're lightest?
because they have less ink.
Oh,
They only have 1 spot.
oh, I never.
Some
thought of
have
that.
2 spots.
I never
3
thought of
spots.
that. Is that yeah?
So, give the cards a good shuffle. Give
Okay.
the cards a good shuffle.
Any kind of shuffle
Any kind of shuffle.
All right.
Now put them back the way you found them.
in the box?
No.
Oh,
Shuffle.
you want me to put them
No,
back
no,
the way
no.
I found them? Oh, that's so funny. Here, let me do one of these fancy shuffles. Look at
Ooh,
that.
hey,
Oh.
all right.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do this now.
Yeah, right.
Now, as I said, the 4 aces is the lightest cards.
Okay.
Now, because they have less ink, that means I can float them out of the deck.
Float them?
Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can.
Oh,
do
my
this.
goodness.
Let's see.
Oh,
That's
my
1,
goodness. Oh,
2,
my goodness.
3,
Oh, my goodness.
4
Oh, there's
aces
that.
out of the deck.
That is, I've never seen that before. That is wonderful.
Yeah. I'll do one more thing with the aces since
Okay.
I have it because
Okay. And
we
I
have-
shuffled the deck.
you shuffle the deck. That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We have the ace of diamonds, the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs, and the lowly ace of spades.
Okay.
I know. Greg, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just point at one. Just point at one of them. This one. All right. Do you remember which one this was? This was, in fact, the ace of clubs. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to take the ace of clubs, put it up here. I take this ace over here, this ace over here, and this last ace over here. So there are 4 aces,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Different places.
Yes.
Go like that, a little shuffle, and we have the 4 aces right back on top
Wow.
again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
that's
So you also do mentalism, and
I
how
do
is
mentalism.
mentalism different from magic? You know,
Okay.
taking a bunny and making it appear is not mentalism.
Right.
So what's the distinction?
well, the distinction is you're working with thoughts. You're
Okay.
working with people's thoughts, what they're, and I'll do something in a minute with
Yeah,
more mentalism.
I want to see
something.
something mentalism,
Yeah.
but explain the difference. I mean, is it
It
reading
re-
people's minds, body language? What is
Well,
it?
you use a lot of different things. I don't claim to be psychic.
Okay.
That's one thing I don't do, and I don't do prediction type things.
Okay.
So
you don't know who the next president is going to
Exactly. I don't know who the next. I don't even know what the lottery numbers are
Oh,
going
I
to be.
see.
Because
Okay.
I like to do that because I don't like to get that question.
Right.
So I don't. I try not to do prediction type effects. I try to do thought readings. I have someone think of. I'll do something.
Okay.
I'll do something. All right.
This is exciting.
Greg, right? Greg.
Yeah,
So,
Greg.
Greg. Let me get out a pen here. Okay. A little piece of paper here. And Greg, what I'd like you to do is think of someone very special to you, but someone who isn't here today. Obviously, you have a wide range
Alive,
of people.
dead?
It doesn't really matter. Could be alive, dead. Could be a pet. Could be anyone. But make it someone again. Someone that you know. Someone that is close to you. And you can write anything. You can think of your mom or your dad.
Oh, okay.
Don't write down mom.
Okay.
Okay.
So a person's name.
A person's name,
Okay.
an actual name, and
Okay.
just like I printed your name.
Yes.
Greg, write that special person's name.
And
cross the
don't
line,
let you see it?
And I'm going to turn away. Turn away. Okay. All right. I did go to a psychic once. As we were sitting down, I slapped her across the face. I told her she should have seen that coming.
That's so funny.
That's I tell you.
All right, so I wrote the name down.
Okay.
Now I'm going to
over
fold
like
it.
a book.
Okay.
Just like a book. Now hand me.
I'm gonna
now
hand you the whole
keep-
thing?
No, you keep the pad and pen.
Okay.
'Cause,
All right.
Because I don't really think I'm using that old pencil reading trick. Now,
Yes, I was looking at this thinking,
Yeah.
are you ripping that up now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
look at me. Look at me. Look
All
at
right,
me.
all right.
All right. Now, this is a relative as opposed to a friend.
It's a relative.
Relative.
It is a relative.
It's a male.
No.
Female?
Yes.
It's a female.
It is.
I was only off by one. Only off
That's
by
a
one.
good trick. Off
All
by
right.
one.
Older?
1 year younger.
1 year is like sister?
Yes.
Sister,
Are
okay.
you fishing? Or
No,
do you
no,
really
no,
know?
no, no, no. Oh, take those in your hand. Put out your other hand.
Yeah?
No. Palma.
Okay.
Imagine you have a picture of your sister
Okay.
on your hand.
Okay.
Make it very detailed. Now, we've met before, but I don't think we've ever talked about your sister, right?
Not really.
Not really, and certainly I wouldn't know her name.
I don't think so.
Imagine you have a picture of your sister and say to yourself, Greg, say David. You know why? Because
Why?
that's my name.
That's your name, David.
Say David. In your mind, say,
Oh,
David,
right.
I'd like you to see a picture of my sister. And then in your mind, say her name. Look at me, though.
Okay.
Look at me.
All right.
Now, it should be no way I would know your sister's name is Maureen.
It is Maureen. That's that's amazing. So let me ask you this. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to
Well, one of the things I ask people is, how do you want to be remembered, or what's the legacy you want? Maybe that's something we can talk about.
I want to be remembered as a fun guy who didn't take himself too seriously.
Okay.
But I like saying I don't like to take myself too seriously, but I take what I do seriously.
Right.
I care about. I do care about making a connection with people.
Right.
I'd have to say I'm working on that.
Okay.
I still have. One of the big things with a lot of magicians, is that they do it to do this connection thing because they use it as a conduit.
Why do you think that's so? When I was a kid in high school, before high school, grammar school, I was so shy. Extremely shy.
Right, yeah.
So magic got me out
That's
of it.
exactly it. I
Yeah.
mean, because you're using that as a tool. You're using
Right.
that as a
To
crutch.
connect with people. As a crutch.
As a crutch.
Right, right.
And many people never get beyond that.
Right.
As a professional, one of the things that I've learned over my doing this over 25 years is that it's not the magic, it's not the trick.
Right.
It's the connection that you're making with the people.
Right. Right. That's
And I always
powerful.
have to work on that. I mean, that's
powerful.
one of the things I have to work on. One of the two most powerful things I do during my shows. One is a routine that I actually learned from another magician called heartstrings, which is I tear up a length of thread and then I put it back together again. But more importantly, that I talk about relationships and how relationships break. And I tear up and then so it's an emotional thing. The other piece that I'm really proud of is something that I actually created that I call Grandmother's Garden,
Oh.
which I take out this folding triangular type thing, and I fold it into what looks like a gardening pot, like you'd grow flowers in.
Sure.
And I talk about going to my grandmother's and helping her with her garden. And she would take a seed and put it in the pot, and I'd come back, and nothing had happened. But then she, gave it water, gave it sun, love,
Neat.
and then all of a sudden, a handkerchief appears.
Wow.
And then she does it again, and I have the kids throw, and more things come out. And then I say, my grandmother isn't around, but she said that flowers were a lot like children, or seeds are a lot like children. You don't see them grow, you don't see them change, but if you give them love and attention and what they need, they grow into a beautiful garden. And
Wow.
the 4 handkerchiefs have now grown into like this full bouquet of handkerchiefs.
How do people get a hold of you? Because we got 30 seconds left. How do they get a hold of you?
I have a couple of different websites. They can go to my family website, which is davidfun.com with 2 N's, because double the N's for double the fun.
Yep.
And getdavidlawrence.com.
Excellent.
And
And you have a third one, or no?
I have a couple of. I have one that's mind reading and more.
Okay. Well, listen, we'll have you back next time. We're going to do it. We'll talk
Yes.
about business. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
David Lawrence.
Thank you
I really
very much.
appreciate this.